guys, Julia here from JM2 Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with the ship with me. These are all orders that came through over the weekend. It feels like that summer slump is starting to shake off. I'm coming off of like two of the slowest weeks I have ever had, just like as a reseller, and you know, a pretty good, at least volume wise, weekend of sales here. So hopefully you guys are seeing the same in your stores, but we've got a lot to get through and I need to get these things packed up and off to the post office. Before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia. That is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. Without further ado, guys, like I said, I gotta get these things packed up. I've actually got a pretty packed afternoon, so it's not late, but I do have 85 things to do after I go to the post office. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipment. So we'll start this off with this great 4-piece bundle that is actually going to one of you guys. And the first piece she picked up here is this amazing little dress from, the brand is called Red Tongs. It's a Korean designer. I wasn't able to find anything on it, but this just feels so like high end. It's 100% linen. It's got this really cool texture to it. To me, it felt like I had found this incredible dress a couple months ago from a brand called Injiri. And that dress I think retailed for like $1,400. It was incredibly high end. And this kind of has a similar vibe to me. You know, this was a style pickup for sure because I couldn't find anything on the brand. But I just knew that this would not last. I mean, it was just so cool, very like log and look. It's a little bit like minimalist. It's got that kind of oversized fit. It's just, I love it. I love it. This is one of my favorite linen dresses I've ever found. The next piece she picked up, another little linen dress. This is from Blue Vintage, which is an in-house Saks Fifth Avenue line. Clearly, this is like a perfect little summer staple bundle that she put together. This is like a natural colored linen with 3/4 sleeves, little drawstring waist shirt dress. I mean, perfect, again, throw on and go kind of piece. Such a big fan of pieces like this because it really is, you know, like you can put this on with flip-flops and it's a casual like beach dress. You can put it on with some like nice jewelry and some nice shoes and all of a sudden it's a little bit fancier. It's like a night out. The next piece she grabbed was this cute double gauze piece from Magashoni. This is midi length and it's got like a smocked waist, so it kind of is a blouson style top. And this actually came through as a bundle sale over on eBay, which is interesting because there's no true like bundle feature on eBay. Like as sellers, we're able to kind of connect the sales after the fact. So that's basically what she had to do. She had to buy them all individually. She made offers on them all individually. And then I combined all the shipments and refunded her the difference in what she paid for shipping and then what the shipping actually was. I wish there was an easier way. And if there is an easier way and you are aware of it, let me know. And then the last piece that she picked up was this cute little chambray top from Cloth & Stone. Again, perfect little closet staple. I know that there's a lot of people who don't touch Cloth & Stone anymore, and I kind of love them. Now, I don't pay up for them. You know, you'll typically get like $20 or so for them, $20, $25 on them. And that's, you know, certainly down from what we used to get a couple years ago where we would get, you know, $30, $40 for these pieces. But, you know, if you're able to source them inexpensively, they're great little closet staples. They're made well. I really like their chambray. I think it's quite nice. I think it stands up to washing a little bit better than most chambrays that I've seen. So when I can get them, you know, when I can get a good staple at a good price, I'm still picking them up. Here we go. Again, perfect little summer closet refresh right here. These are my favorite kind of bundles. You know, like I love it, sure, I love selling like the trendy stuff, but I know that all of these pieces are just gonna be in like heavy rotation, you know? They're just all so wearable. And so forgiving, right? Everything's very kind of like breezy, relaxed fit. So all in, again, each one of these items was sold separately, but all in the total cost on everything was $100 even, which I gladly accepted. Great pieces. And they were kind of a mix of older and newer pieces. That Cloth & Stone, I think I had only had in the closet for 2 weeks. The Magashoni, I think, was the oldest one that had been in my closet for, I want to say about 11 months, but with a total $7 cost from the bin for everything. This brought me to a profit of $79.21, and this was, of course, a sale over on eBay. So I hope she absolutely loves them. That red tongs dress I've never seen anything about them. I've never seen anything since, but that dress is so cute. I absolutely love it. The next piece we have here is this cute little crossover top from Velvet by Graham & Spencer. Velvet's one of those brands that I often forget how stinking expensive it is. Every once in a blue moon, I'll see something and I'll run a comp on it and it'll take me to like the website and I'm like, oh, this shirt was $300. Now this shirt sits very differently when it's on a body. Like if I show this to you on a hanger, you're gonna be like that. I don't understand how anybody wears that. But once you have it on a body, it makes a little bit more sense. It's full wrap in the front and full wrap in the back. So when you have it on a hanger, it just looks like a big U. And I think that's part of the reason that this didn't sell quite so fast. Velvet is something I don't pick up a ton of, but I always like, every time I do find something, it does tend to sell fairly well. But this one was incredibly difficult to photograph for reasons that I just detailed. And I'll tell you, not an easy thing to fold either. Velvet is kind of a brand in the same vein as like an Eileen Fisher in that it's very, very expensive retail, but doesn't sell for like super high. It sells a little bit more in the like upper bread and butter region, but their pieces are really nice. They're nicely made. I love their textiles. Definitely a different vibe from like an Eileen Fisher. It's not quite as minimalist. It's a little bit more like fashion forward, but keep your eye out if you're looking for stuff for yourself. Keep your eye out on Velvet pieces, because you can get some very high-end stuff for a great deal. Now, like I said, I had this one listed for 8 months and I had it listed for $28. And I think I had dropped the price at some point in there. I wanna say it started out at like 32 or so. But anyway, I got an offer at $18 and I did get that offer over on Depop. Having an offer come through on Depop does come into play when I am thinking about accepting an offer or not. But anyway, with the $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $15.69. So super, super cute top. I hope she loves it. I'm glad to be moving it on. But yeah, definitely something that was incredibly difficult to photograph. Next up, speaking of Eileen Fisher, here's a beautiful black Eileen Fisher linen boxy top. We all know that I love Eileen Fisher. It's 100% linen and it's a 3X. This was something that we picked up while I was back east just a few weeks ago. And this is a piece that we actually got in the regular thrift store. So we did pay up for it. Now it wasn't a huge dollar amount. I wanna say it was about $4, but this shirt in like a size small or medium at full price at a thrift store, I might not have picked up. But at a 3X, I absolutely will. Plus size Eileen Fisher, especially like plus size Eileen Fisher linen, slam dunk. It was so funny while we were out shopping. My mom kept saying, I don't like this. I don't like this linen. I don't like this linen. And it turns out she was like, you know why I don't like this linen, Julia? Because it was put in a dryer. If anybody wants to know where my like obsession with line drying things and air drying things comes from, there you go. I don't like this linen because it was put in a dryer. Some people don't like crisp, you know? Like I love it, but I know some people don't love it. I say this as I have like a crispy line dried linen shirt on, like literally as I'm speaking here. But anyway, I had this listed for just 3 days. I had it listed at $48 and I sent an offer for $43, which was accepted. And with a $4 cost at the regular thrift, this brought me to a profit of $30.30. And this was of course over on Poshmark. So I hope she loves it. But yeah, anything plus size linen, Eileen Fisher, feel very, very comfortable paying up for it. I probably would have been comfortable paying $10 for that because I knew that it would sell very, very quickly, especially in black, you know? Next up, this is another little piece we picked up. This one we picked up at the bins, and it's this beautiful papaya little corset style top. Again, I think 3X, but so cute, right? I love this color. If I had skin that tanned ever, I would live in this color in the summer. Alas. But this one we found at the bins and it weighs about nothing, so it probably ended up costing about 25 cents, right? For my spreadsheet, I just rounded that up to $1 because you can't split hairs when you're dealing with volume. I just kind of average out everything we got. But this wasn't a particularly like known brand. This was definitely more of a style pickup. It was 100% cotton, super cute. Definitely a style that's very in right now, and definitely the time to move something like this. But this I had listed for $22 and I had it listed for just 2 days. This was a super quick sale. Now I got an offer for $14, which I did accept. Again, this cost probably somewhere close to a quarter, but rounding to $1, this brought me to a profit of $12 even, and this was a sale over on eBay. Hope she loves it. Such a cute little summer top. Next up, now this is maybe one of the cutest tops I've ever picked up, and I knew this was gonna be a quick sale. So this is from a brand called Qberry, which I'd never seen before. I think they're out of Japan, and this embroidery, like, I wanna get you up close on this. I know I showed this close on the haul, but I don't know if you all watch those. So this embroidery is like plush. It's actually like stuffed. And then there's embroidery on top of the embroidery. It's just so precious. And I pick up tops like this all the time, and they sell very well for me. These kind of embroidered denim vintage tops. Now, I don't know if this is vintage or not, but it definitely has like a 90s vintage feel to it. And I'll tell you, the second I listed this, I started getting interest in it. And I really didn't have it listed for all that long, but I had several offers come through on Depop that like didn't, you know, come to fruition. Lots of likes, lots of looks, lots of comments, lots of questions. And I'm not at all surprised. This thing is so cute. I mean, like, come on. And I'll tell you, like, the embroidery work on it is incredible. It's like embroidery, applique, there's some beading in there if memory serves me right. So yeah, this was such a slam dunk and 100% something that I would have paid up for had I seen that in a regular thrift store. I got it at the bins, which was an absolute no-brainer, but I would have paid up for it. So I had this beauty listed for just a week and a half. Again, not surprising at all that this sold lightning quick. And I had it listed for $38. I kind of priced this up. Typically stuff like this, I'll be $32, $34, and I'll hope to get between like $25 and $30. But this one, just because of what it was and the quality of the embroidery on it, I priced it up a little bit. So I had it listed at $38 and it popped through as a full price sale. So there you go. With the $2 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $34.09. And again, this was a sale over on Depop. Absolutely. I think there's one other that I have that in my mind is like in competition, and it was this beautiful denim button down with this beautiful embroidery on the front with a recipe in French for, I want to say it was for like bouillabaisse or something like that. It was just so like Ina Garden coated. I was so here for it. And that also sold really quickly. All right, next up we have this adorable dress from Free People. This is Free People Intimately. It's this cute little gauze dress with the most adorable little spaghetti straps over the top. And they're adjustable because you like tie them in the back to whatever length you want. So it's, I want to say about midi length. This is called the Garden Party dress, and they made it in a couple different colors. Super cute, one of their more in-demand pieces. But it wasn't one of their particularly expensive pieces to start with, right? But this one in particular had decent sold comps between like $30 and $50, depending on like new with tags and different colors. So it's definitely one of the Free People pieces that's still, you know, fetching a good price. A lot of it is quite saturated. Funny, I was at the bins just the other day and there were like 4 or 5 Free People pieces that I left behind. And I'm like, man, if Julia of a few years ago could see me now, there was absolutely a lot of time that I would never leave anything from Free People behind. So anyway, I had this listed for just under 1 month, and I had it listed at $45, and I got an offer for $34, which I did accept. With a $2 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $25.20, and this was a sale over on Poshmark. So I hope she loves it. It is so cute, and I'll tell you, it's a pretty bulky dress. That skirt was really full, so also glad to be moving it on out of my closet. Next up, this is an adorable little top from J. Jill. Now this is gauze. It is tie-dye-ish. This is not actually tie-dye, but it has that vibe, and it's a little boxy gauze top. And it, you know, the shame of it is I've had this for a while, and I think the reason being is that while it is oversized and this could easily fit like a medium, maybe even a large, it is labeled an extra small. This is like Free People sized J. Jill, which is, I mean, like unheard of. So it's sad, you know, extra small J. Jill doesn't move super fast at all. I generally try to keep my J. Jill sourcing, and I do pick up quite a bit of it. I try to keep it size large, extra large, and up. On occasion, I'll pick up a medium. It still sells pretty well for me. It's great, like bread and butter, generally fairly quick sales. Extra small though, that's a different story. So I had this listed for about a year, and I had it listed at $32, and I got an offer for $24, which I did accept with a $1 cost at the bins. This brought me to a profit of $21.24, and this was a sale over on eBay. Happy to be moving this one on. It is just so cute. Perfect little summer top. Next up, now this is such a cool one, and I'm kind of surprised at how long it took to sell, but I think it has to do with the brand. If this was a different brand, like in the action sports world, I think that this would have moved a little bit quicker, but this is from Specialized. And this is a 1990s vintage half zip sweatshirt, and there's the little Specialized logo. The thing that to me gets it, and I don't know how well this is gonna show on camera, this is one of their old little, that couldn't look more 90s if it tried. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was doing that weird like gear thing in the 90s. Of course, this is also a bike company. But I was really close to just sending this to one of my friends. Their kid's really into like 90s vintage stuff. He's like 16 years old. And I'm like, you want to thrift? You come with me. You come out to visit me in California and I will take you to the thrift where you can get all of your 90s stuff. You're gonna be in there with the bins bros. I'm gonna be, you know, kind of searching for other stuff, but I'll take you to where you can find the good stuff. But basically if this hadn't sold in the refresh that I did, this would have gone to him and I would have been perfectly happy sending it to him. I actually had this Stussy sweatshirt from college. And I called it my super floppy sweatshirt, and it was the thing that I would wear like if I was hungover. And by the way, that is an easy way to tell how old you are, because the name of the company is Stussy, but all the young kids today call it Stussy, which is rage. So anyway, my super floppy sweatshirt, I've had this forever. I think I stole it from my brother at some point, and I loved it. It was like beloved, and I know it was old by the time it got to me, and it got to me in like the late 90s or the early 2000s, and I want to say it was about 10 years old by the time it got to me. So this is like, you know, late 80s, early 90s Stussy, which is, you know, super, super in demand. And I knew I could have sold it and made a good chunk of change on it. I just couldn't bring myself to, because I was like emotionally attached to it. And as soon as I talked to my friend and he was talking about how his son, who, you know, we've known since he was a little baby, he was talking about how he was really getting into like 90s vintage stuff. And I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do with it. And he freaked out. I brought it to him the last time we went to visit them, and he was like sending pictures to his friends. He's like, look at this, I got you. It made me very happy, but I also made him promise me to not sell it if it was time for him to move it on, to like gift it to somebody else, because it was my emotional support sweatshirt in college. And guys, I apologize if you can hear a kid crying. One of my neighbor kids is crying, and they're outside, and there's really nothing I can do about it. All the windows are closed. It's 400 degrees in this room right now. So this one I had listed for about a year. Again, I think that was kind of brand driven. And I had it listed at $32, and I got an offer for $24, which I did accept with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought me to a profit of $18.20, and this was another sale over on Poshmark. And to put this into context, if I went to sell that late 80s, early 90s Stussy sweatshirt, hooded sweatshirt, I probably could have gotten $300 or $400 on it because of the age. So if you have any hanging out in your closet, or like your kids' closets that they haven't touched in a few years, time to get those things back out into the world if you have them and you're not emotionally attached to them. Next up is this adorable dress from Joseph Ribkoff. Now, this is kind of a wilder piece from Joseph Ribkoff, but he's a little bit more of a mature designer, but his dresses are very expensive. This probably retailed somewhere in the vicinity of like $300, maybe a little bit more. And it's one of the brands that I will always pick up when I see it, because especially if you can find like a good basic, a pair of pants or something like that, those sell so well for me. Again, this is probably one of the more polarizing patterns I've ever seen come out of his shop. But the people who love Joseph Ribkoff really love Joseph Ribkoff. So while it is something that might take a little extra time to sell because it is a smaller market, generally they're gonna sell for a pretty good price. I typically see somewhere between like $30 and $60 depending on what I've got. And honestly, for Joseph Ribkoff, the more basic, the better the price. That's typically been my experience. I love it though. I don't see it all that often, but when I see it, I do grab it, especially at the bins. I would be comfortable paying up a little bit for most pieces at the regular thrift. I probably wouldn't be paying like $20 if this was a brand that they were kind of jacking up, but you know, if they had it at like $7.99, I would have picked that up for this. I had this listed for about a year. You know, this was a pretty polarizing pattern and it was kind of hard to photograph. It was just like a little column dress. And I had it listed for $44 and I got an offer for $38, which I did accept with the $1 cost of the bins. This brought me to a profit of $29.40. And this was a sale over on Poshmark. So I hope she loves it. It is a fabulous little dress, and those Joseph Ribkoff dresses are made beautifully. Next up, now this is something that I want you to take note of the shape. See how this has a little flap here? It's asymmetrical, so it's kind of like a little shawl over here, and it goes out like this. This is a nursing cover. It can also be worn as like a little scarf or a topper piece, but I think that their core design, that style, is as a nursing cover. So it's something that a nursing mom can kind of wear to cover while she nurses her baby in public. And I'll tell you one thing, I have sold quite a few of these recently. Now, they're not necessarily gonna be a big dollar sale, but every time I found one, they've been quick sales. You know, depending on the brand. Now, I've found two from Quince, and they both sold in like 2 or 3 days, and they both sold in the $20 range. And then I found one that was basically, I'm pretty sure what Quince had duped. I can't remember the name of the brand. I'll put it down here so you can keep your eyes out for it. But again, I'm pretty sure it was what Quince had duped when they made theirs. And that one sold, I wanna say, for like 50 or 60 bucks. And then this one my mom found, she thought it was just like a little scarf, and I'm like, that's a nursing cover, that'll sell in no time flat. And sure enough, this lasted all of 3 days in my closet. And I had, I think, like 3 offers on it. So keep your eyes out for nursing covers, guys. People need it. I think baby stuff in general sells pretty dang well. When I say baby stuff, I mean like baby stuff that's like for the mom, not like baby clothes. That's a different beast altogether. Anyway, had this listed at $22. For just 3 days, got an offer for $15, which I did accept with the roughly $1 cost. I'm sure she got this at the bins, so it's probably closer to like 25 cents. This brings me to a profit of $11, and again, a sale over on Poshmark. I'm telling you, these little pieces, they're not gonna be huge sales unless you find a really high-end brand, but in and out of your closet super quick, and I'm here for that. Next up, this one is actually from my closet. I bought this for myself. This is a cute little Free People Beach mini dress. It's this, like my blue, you know, I love this blue. It was just unfortunately a little too short for me. It's funny, the dupes of this dress are going viral all over TikTok, and the real deal is made of like hemp. This is such a pretty fabric, and I really love the idea of it because I love a trapeze dress in the dead of summer when it's 450 degrees out. I don't want anything touching me. You know what I'm saying? It's why I love linen, because it kind of sits off of your body. But yeah, this was just like, I couldn't wear this. You know, it was like a little bit too much showing. And I was so bummed. I did buy this on Poshmark though, so it was really kind of a no harm, no foul. I just reposhed it. It is brand new with tags too, which is nice. But keep your eyes out for it, because you know, you'll hear in a second what I sold it for. The retail price on this is $68, but this color is discontinued, which bummer for me, because you know I would have gone back and just bought a size up, because I want to live in that color every day of my life. Alas, they are few and far between and kind of hard to find. So I had this listed for just 1 week at $67. Sold comps on these are between like $40 and $70, depending on the color and size and all that kind of stuff. But I had this listed for $67, and I got an offer for $57 after just 1 week. There was really no profit. I think all in, I might have made $1 or $2, but just so you guys understand what these are going for. And this was a sale over on Poshmark. So I really hope it works out for her, because I was so bummed, but man, does nobody need to see that part of my thighs. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody needs to see that. Next up, now here's one I was kind of surprised to move this quick. This is from J. Jill. It's a cute little corduroy kind of button-down blazer, like a light jacket, almost like an overshirt. And it's vintage from the 90s, and it's got this cute, like, you know, it's got that nice like velvet accent on the cuffs and on the collar. And while I'm not surprised that this sold, I am kind of surprised that this sold in July. I was fully expecting to hold on to this through the fall. 90s J. Jill does surprisingly well for me. Now this had a little bit of that like kind of artsy feel to it, but yeah, fully anticipated this not moving until like September, October. And surprisingly enough, this was a sale over on Depop. This didn't feel like something that I would see going over on Depop. But here we are. Like I said, I just get the sneaky feeling that Depop is doing really well, adding new buyers to their ranks, which is great. I would love to see Depop become more viable for things outside of like, you know, real trend-driven stuff and youth-oriented stuff. I think that's still probably gonna be their bread and butter, but I've sold more and more stuff like this on there, and that makes me very happy. I like their interface quite a bit, and of course I love their seller fee structure, which still doesn't make sense to me, but I'll take it. But I had this listed for just 3 weeks and I had it listed at $32 and I got an offer for $28, again, over on Depop, and with a $2 cost, this brought me to a profit of $24.18. So I hope she loves it. This is so cute. And I'll tell you, those kind of vintage pieces from J. Jill are made so incredibly well. So I know that that's got a lot more wear to it. And finally, I've got this cute little 2-piece bundle. This is one that my mom found. Now this doesn't have a tag in it, but it's just very cute, open weave, striped with these cute little bell sleeves. Now I don't think that this is wool, but it is absolutely adorable either way, and it is open weave, so it's not something that, you know, you're gonna sweat out in. I love a good colorful bell sleeve sweater, just an adorable little piece. And then the second piece in this little bundle, and this one's actually going to one of you guys, is this absolutely adorable vest from Tanjay. This is vintage from about the 90s. It's got a cute little like garden theme going for it. Perfect little transitional piece as you go into fall. A little bit more towards the fall colors than spring colors with the flowers, which I kind of love. It's a little bit different. These two adorable pieces, some nice transitional weather pieces. I think we're gonna start to see it in the next couple weeks, guys. The turn to fall shopping is about to happen. Make sure if you have been holding off on listing sweaters, you are getting those listed ASAP. So I had that sweater vest for a little bit of a while, but that striped sweater, I think I only had listed for about 2 or 3 days before that popped off. And the total cost of the 2 pieces was $49, and then my bundle offer was $41.65, which was accepted. And with a $3 total cost at the bins, both my bins and my mom's bins respectively, this brought me to a profit of $30.32, of course, over on Poshmark. And I hope she absolutely loves them. That little Tanjay sweater is such a little gem. But either way, guys, that is it. That is the shipment for today. Thank you so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. Again, I've got a stacked afternoon, so I've got to get these things loaded up off to the post office and on to the rest of my list. But guys, I hope the rest of you are starting to see your sales pick back up after the summer slump. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Let me know how you're doing in the comments down below. But if you had fun, please consider leaving a like or comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, I hope you have the most beautiful weekend. Happy hunting. And I will see you all in the next one.